Welcome back to the Open Peace podcast. Today we are here. I am hosting for the first time ever, and I'm joined by Aboud, Amir, and of course our guest for today, Rami Aman. Thank you for joining us, Rami. It's amazing to
welcome,
see you.
Rami.
Thank you for inviting me, guys.
Absolutely. So, Rami, you've had an interesting life, and you've had interesting experiences with Israelis from the perspective of a Gazan. So, why don't you start and give a little bit of background first, and then we'll jump into the questions.
First of all, I need just to tell you that I don't have an interested life in my 10 years, for example, or on my last 20 years or 30 years. No, I had an interested life in my beginning of my life, in my first 12 years, because I was born in Algeria and grown up in Kuwait.
Yeah.
So I have a very good, a fantastic childhood in Kuwait, and yes, but like any kind of Palestinian, watching the media,
Yeah.
that we are returning to Gaza and followed the Iraqi occupation over Kuwait and then the Gulf War. So since I was a kid, I'm inside this kind of conflict and
Exactly.
wars. But
Exactly.
yes, as I told you, I have an interested experience in this conflict, especially
Yeah.
that I think that I paid very high price.
You
to
have certainly.
prove to prove for the people here in my community, and for the people not just in the Israeli community, in all over the world, that we have some peaceful voices here in Gaza. Peace in a meaning, not like peace as a project, or peace that somebody will kick somebody outside somewhere. No, it's not like that. Peace as a value, peace as something, like understanding, like love. It's not a bad word.
No.
And yes, I had, but in the end, I think that I'm walking in the right way. Even maybe this kind of experience or this kind of journey divided me for two persons in one body, one person as a person.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a
He's tired.
sacrifice.
He's need get relaxed. Somebody arrested while he was in the jail for 200 days. It's half a year.
Yeah.
And in
So
2019 it was for 18 days, and through the last years some few days. It's, and all the time you are thinking that the security is over you, the security is following you,
You're watched. Yeah.
because of nothing.
for nothing. So what was it that you were in prison for 6 months?
Yeah,
It happened from meeting Israelis on Skype, right?
yeah, yeah.
How many Israelis
Before,
were there?
we are now walking in, we have a year. In that days, in 2020, I was working with Katie, a friend. I met her when I met Dalai Lama in India. She asked me to make a Zoom meeting talking about Corona, and explain for the people, the situation in Gaza here, the suffering, the blockade, the occupation, everything. For me, yes, it wasn't my first meeting. Uh, I have a group here, and I have a lot of activities, not just with the Israeli community, with everyone in the world, and trying to exchange the stories between the Gazans here and the people outside, and feeding them with a cultural way. And we decided to organize this meeting on 9th of April, and they published a Facebook event and invited their friends. And yes, on 9th of April, it was on 7 o'clock. It was me and Shadi and Muhammad and Jabir and Ahmed and Manar. She joined from her house. And I think we talked for more than 2 hours with more than 300 Israelis, talking about the situation, talking about how we can do something for the future. And for me, it was like any meeting.
Yeah.
I didn't talk about transferring information between securities, or I'm not working for Mossad or for Shabak or for
Yeah.
Palestinian Mukhabarat. No, I'm not this
You're
one.
more simple. You just want to sit
Yeah,
with people, right? And
and I'm talking
talk.
with the Christian people here in Gaza, and for me, it's no problem to talk with the Jew or non-religious or anyone. For me, no, I'm a Muslim, yes, but I respect and understand all.
Mhm.
Uh,
That's good.
and then I received the call, and after after 3 days, and then I started a very big journey. I think we need more time to talk about this
Mm.
journey, but
Yeah.
I can give you a conclusion. It was like a lot of questions, a lot of treating, a lot of movies. For me, it was like a movie. I was an actor in this movie.
Mm.
Like a
That's how you
drama.
felt. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
dramatic. Yeah.
yeah. For me, because all the time you are defending yourself and you are talking about that you are not a collaborator or not secret agent. You are. I'm not doing any kind of normalization. I don't understand the meaning of normalization.
Yeah, we completely
Right.
understand you, Rami, because we had a friend on the podcast who didn't actually come on the podcast. He's from the Palestinian side, and it was really hard for him to come up and talk about some topics that might be sensitive for him to speak about. So I completely, feel you.
And inside the jail, it was a lot of levels: level one, level two, level three, level four,
Mm.
and I had a lot of stresses, a lot of pressures. But for me, when I started my journey in this conflict, since 10 years ago, I realized that I will face risks and challenges, but not like that, But I realized that because of that.
Yeah, yeah. You were expecting something, but not something like that extreme.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But when I buzzed a day there or a minute there, I felt more stronger. And
Yeah.
yes, and for sure, this is my first meeting or my first podcast I did with you guys. After my experience, and I think it's a note for all that I'm not afraid. I'm in the
Mm.
same way. I'm more
Mhm.
stronger than ever.
Mhm.
Amazing.
And in this,
That's
yeah,
so great
but
to hear. Yeah.
but as I told you, I tired. It's supposed to me to travel from Gaza here last December.
Yeah.
Until now, the securities banned me from traveling.
You're
Maybe
Mhm.
stuck
they
inside.
are afraid that I will talk bad about them outside of Gaza. But for me, no, I will not leave Gaza forever.
You'll always come back to Gaza.
Yeah, for sure. My mission here in Gaza.
Yeah,
My
absolutely.
Beautiful.
mission is how I can create decision makers for the
Change,
future
positive
and
change. Yeah.
create leaders and
Sure.
opening and create a new generation can create a new leaders and sit in
Mm.
one table and try to do something for this conflict, because already we are under one state solution and already we are under two-state solution. Two-state solution when we talk about Gaza and Israel, for example.
Yeah.
One state
Yeah.
when we are talking about Arab cities inside the Israel. We have daily conflicts and we have daily victims. So the problem it's not in between the politics. We as a people, we from the ground, we can create from us leaders and just wait, and for sure we will find us in the future. In create decisions. You
Hmm.
can imagine if Abu Mazen and Netanyahu all the time or every day they have a phone call or do something or have a meeting, but they
Hmm.
didn't care
And
and
no
they
Yeah.
don't
decisions
care.
in all these
Yeah, they
years.
are not suffering. Yeah, they are not suffering.
They
The
don't.
not It's not just that they're not suffering, they're benefiting, right? They
They
benefit a lot
benefiting.
from Yeah.
Yeah,
big time.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's in their interest to continue it because, well, for Bibi, the only reason people vote for him is because they're scared, and he's the security prime minister, you know. And if we create peace, he doesn't have a job.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's it.
You know?
And we need to create from us, new voices also. I
Mhm.
advised a lot of my friends, in the Israeli community to nominate themselves, even to get one vote, do anything, promote new voices. And I will do that in my side here.
Mhm.
It's hard though,
And
right?
yeah, for sure it's hard, but if we believe in what we are do, I think we can achieve something. And
For
just
sure.
Absolutely.
and just prove for ourselves that we are believing in our way. Why now I'm still working and talking with the Israelis?
You believe, yeah.
Because I believe in this goal. I'm not benefiting anything in this field. I'm the only group or the only activist who didn't get any kind of fund. I'm fundraising my initiatives. I don't have an NGO. I'm not registered,
Yeah.
Mhm.
but I dare the American and the international organizations here in Gaza to give me one good outcome of their billions and billions and billions of dollars here in a projects like leadership, democracy, human
Wow.
rights. It's a big zero. It's another kind, feeding this conflict and benefiting from conflict.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're not seeing them making any activities that make people get closer.
In
The two
my
sides.
case, in my case, who started the huge campaign against me? Some activists, working with American international organization. It wasn't
Mm.
Hamas in the beginning.
Really?
Ah, that's how it happened. That's how they ended
Yeah,
up coming after you. Wow.
you can Google Rami Aman, and there you will find the story.
Yeah, yeah. I read about. I didn't remember seeing how they ended up catching you or whatever you want to
But
call it.
but because but because I have a great friend,
Hmm. Yeah.
they raised the voice of my case, and they talked about my case in the United Nations, and a lot of international administrations, send messages for organizations or make calls for Hamas directly asking for my release. For me, I was inside the jail. I was believing that
Mm.
already. I know that we don't have good civil society,
Yeah.
and we don't have good human rights organizations. It's a human rights case inside the jail, but nobody cared. The
Of course.
international organization started to talk about my case after 1 month. But
Mm.
because I have a great friends, they were my voice when I was arrested, and because after my release, when I found a lot of support messages, and this kind of messages and loving from the people, not just in Gaza and outside Gaza, give to you some courage and more power
Mhm.
to continue.
Yeah,
Mhm.
But
definitely.
I'm still looking for interested partners because and also it's a message through this podcast, it's that we can do many things together, and also it's a message for anyone watching us now that maybe we can do something from our places. We can write something. We can do something. We can think good. We can do anything.
That's right.
That's a really great message, Rami. That's a fantastic message, and I agree with you fully. I think it's time for people to act and to do, and just this simple thing by having you on our podcast and talking things through and hearing your story. That's a start to these to the process, and I think it's key for to success. One of the things you touched on earlier, Rami, was the younger generation and the young leaders coming through and the new generation. And we were talking a little bit off air, and you told me about an organization that you run. Could you tell us a little bit more about your organization and what you do?
Yes, I'm a founder of a group called Gaza Youth Committee, founded in 2009. and it's include more than of 150 Gazans from different categories in art, in sports, in politics, from different sectors, Christians and Muslims, and trying, to create generation, building them from their bodies at first, and then building them as a human, and then find a hobby, find a plan, find a future, not just repeating stories. Find himself, And in order to achieve this goal, we are organized a lot of initiatives for the kids, for the orphans, for the women, leading by these members, and give them a lot of experience and empowering their relations, and give for these members the chance to talk with the people outside. When I'm finished, my internal here session for any kind of member here, I'm qualifying him for the next step. Let's talk with the Jew. First of all, I need to build a good connection between Christian and Muslim here in Gaza. Also, I'm a member in Young Men Christian Association, YMCA, and I grown up here in Gaza with the Christian community. So I have good relation there. In order to achieve a good generation in that, we are organized some trips between mosques and a church, invite some students from Muslim schools here, and let them visit the church, and make some meetings between Christian youth and Muslim youth here. If the Christian and the Muslim here in Gaza understanding each other well, it's easy. It's easy, to let them understand the Jew. And I'm trying to save my members from what happening around. Don't focus on what's happening. Don't believe in someone. Just believe in yourself. We are the leaders. We are creating a new planet, and we are the first citizens, in this planet. And this was my first meeting. When I talked with Samyat here in 2009, I talked like that. Let's build our planet here. And maybe next time I will invite Fatma and Manar and Muhammad. And Fatma and Muhammad, she was with me in my first meeting. Now she is in Ramallah in West Bank, and Manar in Egypt, and Muhammad in Turkey, and Abdurrahman in Egypt, Mahmoud in Algeria, and I have some in Europe. And I'm trying to build a project over the members in that time.
And has it
And
gotten bigger
from this generation,
since you came out? Has it been easy to keep it growing, or has it stopped growing now since last year?
now after what happened to me, as I told you, I'm dividing for two persons. The first one planning for the future, be in contact with them, walking in the streets. I'm not doing initiative, just one initiative, Gaza Youth Tukar. It's to empower 20 kids here in Gaza to learn them English, and let them also play football, and make some English sessions, between Americans and Gazans here, to let them learn English through Skype or through social media. And also, I will travel anytime, to West Bank and then Jerusalem to apply for an American visa and travel to Washington DC. And I will continue my initiatives here as always.
That's what I was about to ask about when you say new planet. What can you sum up this? I know it's a big question, but what is the most important thing you see in this new planet?
First of all, give the hope again for my members. Now I am away from the social media. A lot of people waiting Rami decision. Not all of my group, for example, know that I'm thinking travel. I will travel anytime. And Rami reputation between the international organization, it's important now. It's good, and it's very high. For me, it was bad that I need to arrest it for 6 months to prove for all of them that I'm not peace activist.
Yeah,
And
that's what it takes.
Before 9th of April 2020, there were some currents talking that I'm a new propaganda for Hamas, or I'm working with Ramallah, or I'm someone just looking for a job. But for me, no.
How could you
I
be
have
propaganda for Hamas? Doesn't make any sense.
because the Israelis think that why you are talking in public with the Israelis.
Mm.
Oh wow.
Before my arrest, a lot of people when I'm talking with the Israelis, it's safe to talk. Yes, it's only one question. My answer was like, no, it's not safe, but I'm not doing bad things.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. Yeah.
Some Israelis thought, no, Hamas allowed you, to speak with the Israelis because Hamas want to put you inside the Israeli community.
Ah.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Hamas are very clever, very super clever, trying to get in.
yeah.
And some Israelis wrote bad about me since 2 years and three
Mm.
years. But
Wow.
now they
Yeah,
liked
now
my posts and my pictures and
you go.
everything.
You did it. You did it. So you proved it.
Exactly. It was hard for me to convince the, the, the
Mm.
the people. But in my journey, I met a lot of close friends to me, and a lot of people give to me enough encourage to come. Yes, what happened to me, it was very hard. But as I told you, already we organized a lot of initiatives and visit the schools. I will send you our annual report for the last years to
Mm.
Yeah,
read our activities, and we have a lot of activities every day.
definitely.
After my release, because already they arrested Manar and arrested Ahmad and arrested Muhammad. For me, I need to help these guys also. I need to find for them. Until now, they maybe, for example, all the time they think that maybe I, it wasn't good to me to walk with Rami.
Ah, right. I see what you mean. Are they all
Mm.
We
free now?
suffer. Yeah, they are free. Yeah, but they are suffered from what happened.
Yeah.
Their families ordered them to cut their relation with Rami. And and
Mm.
and, and for
Mm.
example, some members they were with me since 5 or 6 or 10 years. But
Well,
if I success to travel and find good projects, I can support them financially, and I can, send to them some invitation, to visit or to talk about their experience, or like me, because already I'm in touch with a lot of organizations and all over the world, and we can talk about how we can make a program or how we can make some of exchanging. It's easy. A lot of billions, wasted for this kind of a program, but we have
It's true.
nothing.
It's true. Yeah, a lot of money goes
We,
into things that don't do anything on the ground. Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. In your side and in my side, we can
Yeah.
use the money very well.
it
And
goes
also,
into the pocket.
I'm thinking to find partners for my NGO or for my group. Sometimes I'm talking, it's my group organization, it's my network.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe the governmental issues need for me to talk about my group. It's an organization, so I need also to think how I can register my organization internationally and open or to find members not just from Gaza, also from Israel and from Europe and from the States, from everywhere, and
Hmm.
just exchange our story. In the same time, I have another kind of a project called Why Mina.
Why
Why
Mina?
Mina?
What?
Yeah, Why Mina? Youth in Middle East and North Africa. It's an
Okay.
idea about to create generation in Middle East and North Africa, and from this generation we can find a leaders leading their communities in the political field and in the civil society field, and they
Hmm.
start step by step in a specific point in the media, on interfaith dialogue, in sports, arts, and just wait, prepare and wait for the future, and invite specific people. Not just invite good CVs and good English. For me, I'm not talking English very well, but I'm trying to practice my language through this kind of meeting.
Yeah, you're doing
But
very well.
Your English is
but
great, Rami.
but
Your English is
but maybe the others have good CV, have TOEFL, have IELTS. But in the civil society or in the peace organizations, we don't need good CV and good English and good character. We need
Yeah,
people
action.
already suffered from what happened, and they can use the
Yes.
money very well to make a change in this money. So
And
through
to
this media, we can find a good civil society for Gaza, for the Israel, for West Bank, and for Middle East and North Africa. And in every point in Algeria and Tunisia and Israel and Palestine and everywhere, for sure there is a success story.
Mm.
Let's exchange the story, not in an investment way like what happened between bin Zayed and bin Salman and Netanyahu. Not in this way. Find to find the corporations can feed the people. The people benefiting. The people should benefit first, and then the leaders already they will benefit. As always. But-
Yeah.
and yes, and I think I have a lot of partners maybe wait for this kind of idea, but for me, I need a specific partner.
Mm.
A lot of people just talking.
we want
But
practical people.
Yeah.
yeah,
People that will do
uh,
something.
and as maybe it's dangerous to me maybe to talk through a podcast again with the Israelis, but I love your idea. Uh, I also need to be myself.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm afraid as a person, but no, I'm not afraid as an
Mm.
activist or as someone believe in in, in himself at least. I
Yeah.
I, I don't need my real character. Some people calling me peace activist. Some people call me activist. I'm just Rami, but but sometimes the word need a title.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
You're
world
right.
needs it.
The
Yeah.
title's like, people give you the title, but what you are is just someone that's fighting for his people and for his homeland, actually, to be a
Yeah,
stable, peaceful place.
and I'm sorry if I am talkative or something like that, but I'm trying to give you
No.
No,
some
don't
You're
be
the
silly,
guest.
brother.
information for.
Don't be silly. It's fantastic. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we always let the guests talk about their story as much as they can. We are here to listen
absolutely.
and share our opinion.
And especially
Yeah,
about
I
Gaza,
need. Yeah,
you
I
know?
think I need a lot of time to talk and talk and talk.
For
Yeah.
sure. And just as we got
Yeah.
onto that, Rami, we're actually going to be joined here by our friend Jared as well. He's popping into the conversation. So I'll add him in 1 second. There we go.
Hey, Jared.
There he is,
Rami!
There
finally.
he is.
The
Hi.
legendary Rami Aman, what's up? Sorry I'm late. I had Jewish stuff to do.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Pesach Sameach.
Chag Sameach.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Rami Aman, the hero. No, I'm just Rami Aman.
Yeah. Well,
We are
Rami
just
Aman,
talk
the hero.
about that.
Okay.
It's funny because we just said, people are always giving Rami like a title and
Yeah.
trying to say what he is, an activist or this or that. But
Yeah.
that's not really accurate, is it? It's just what people, they need to have a name in their head so they know how to categorize you.
Yeah. Something to connect it to.
Exactly.
So welcome. So for sure, it's your first time to talk with Rami Aman. So you have any kind of question? You are talking with a very
What?
important person in Gaza Strip, not just in Gaza.
Yeah. Obviously, it's very
A lot
well
of
shared.
people,
Yes.
a lot of people think that who is beside Rami? Someone from Shabak, someone from America, someone from Persian Mukhabarat. No, I'm full independent. I'm
That's
not
nice.
releasing for
That's
anyone.
good.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
It's the one and
It's
all.
the best way.
Alright.
Just Rami. Just Rami.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's plenty of things I want to ask, but I also don't know what the boys have already asked. So
Just
Yeah.
go for it.
yeah.
Just
Where
go for
are we in the? All right. So to go for it. Well, let me just cannonball right into the pool here. What do you think is the best possible thing that could happen for Gaza? No, that Israel could do with our current government.
Recognize the new leaders in Gaza.
How?
The people, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
find find the new voices and feeding them with the fund, with the money already. Yesterday, I think the American administration accepted 100 million, I think 150 million, for peace activities.
Yeah.
They sent to Gaza.
But for Gaza
Yeah.
and West Bank, Gaza Strip and West Bank. But
Both.
it's
Yeah.
as always, wasted of money. The money
Yeah.
just cut in Trump's period, but nothing had changed. United
Goes
Nations,
in the pockets.
United Nations, United Nations wasted billions of dollars since 14 until now. And before some years ago, they said that Gaza in 2020 will not be a good place to live. So what about the millions you wasted here in education and everything?
Yeah.
You was
Where
responsible
is
for this area, yeah. And it's
Yeah.
easy. Nobody talk about that. Nobody talk
Yeah.
about that. Nobody
Yeah.
talk about that. And it's hard. We have
it?
a lot of hundreds of countries, in United Nations, and nobody care because
Yeah.
they are employees. Got
Yeah.
salary,
Yeah.
cars, diplomatic passport, talking in the media. We are working for peace for the Palestinians and Israelis, but they are
Yeah.
not working for peace. The Americans, for example, administrations, they support the negotiation between Israelis and Palestinians, but they do nothing to
Yeah.
make this happen. And I can give you a lot of examples. I'm a U.S. fellow. I was invited to Washington D.C. in 2017 to participate in a program called Leaders for Democracy Fellowship,
Yeah.
hosted by World Learning Organization and the University of Virginia, and funded by U.S. Department of the State. And I was also there with another 20 leaders from Middle East and North Africa. And I was there for 3 months. And they told us there that now we, as alumni, will be in touch with the U.S. consulate in our areas. The Tunisian will be in touch with the U.S. consulate in Tunisia. And for me, as a Gazan, the U.S. consulate in Jerusalem.
Mm.
I gave to them a lot of plans, a lot of solutions,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but
Nothing
I
happens.
had
Yeah.
ignorance and I had nothing.
Yeah.
Why do you
The
Well,
think so?
human
They're
rights,
just not serious about it, or they're not.
it's like they don't understand Rami Aman.
They
yeah.
don't understand your head, your
Yeah.
mindset,
Yeah,
your plan.
Yeah.
but I met people or I met some officials in U.S. Department of the State building there in D.C. and I met
Mhm.
them personally in there in Jerusalem. But I think there is some Palestinians here working in the American organizations don't like Ramema, don't love Ramema because all the time I'm talking that with $1,000 I can do a lot of activities here in Gaza
Yeah.
with
You think
hundreds of beneficiaries, but you are wasting thousands of dollars with nothing because of your
Mhm.
salary and your cars and your high building and your I visited the American organizations and the UNESCO and Seeds of Peace in 2010 and 2011. I told them if you have any kind of a plan for peace or you are looking for participants, I love to
Yeah.
join. They told me that no, we are not working here because of Hamas. Don't talk about that.
Yeah.
I told them, you are talking about peace and you get your salary because of peace. You should make peace here in Gaza. You will make peace in
Yeah.
Germany, for example, or you will make peace where?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
You
do
No.
should.
you?
Nobody wants to put in the work. Nobody wants to put their necks out. That's the thing. That like there's so much other things we need to move on to, but this is something I want to rant about for like maybe a couple minutes. These Westerners who go onto TV and with their big fancy suits and their fancy ass watches and tell people, "Oh yeah, we identify with the downtrodden in Gaza, in Syria, in Darfur. We identify. We want to help them. We want to help them." Then go. They
Yeah.
ain't gonna do it.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
it. I was in the jail. Who raised my voice? My friends,
Yeah.
not the organization.
Only your friends. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
I was
It's
popular because of my real friends.
Yeah.
You know, if I was working in a project or in a program, you will not hear anything. Hamas will not arrest me. Already, we have hundreds of people every day or thousands of people every day from Gaza. They are in touch with the Israelis, businessmen, Palestinian patients, workers,
yeah.
friends through
Oh,
Facebook. But nobody talk about that. Why? Because they
They're
are
afraid.
benefiting personally.
yeah. Because they're
Personally, they are
uncomfortable
benefiting.
questions.
Oh,
Yeah, we talked about that already. That we have some Israeli and Palestinian characters have double faces, face for
Yeah.
his local community and face for the other community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rami.
Uh,
Uh, I don't mean to pull away, but our unseen partner has a few questions for you. He's a West Banker. He has a few questions for you. I'm gonna start with the latest one. He wants to know what do you think about the elections coming up in the PA? Like, do you think anything's gonna come out of them? You feel excited about them? Like hopeful?
for me, it was just a new story happening, a new level,
Yeah.
A new
a new
chapter in the
movie.
same story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so you don't feel hopeful.
Uh, and also, we have the same characters, the same faces.
Mm.
For me, when I created my group, one from my goals that to create decision makers, to nominate also Palestinians to go to legislative council or to be in BLO and the executive committee or to find some people close to me, find them in the high level in Fatah and Hamas,
Yeah.
in the first level, and make these voices, be the leaders in the future. Uh, but because maybe if I succeed, to travel to East Bank in December, maybe you will find me applying my papers for this election, even if I will have one vote.
Yeah. But
Hmm.
Uh,
yeah.
but I'm sure that nothing will be changed because, but it's good, for a lot of people, to promote their real interest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see.
The Halan and Fatah and Hamas and all of these parties, I respect them all, but they have nothing to do.
Yeah.
Hmm.
They, they have nothing to do. And also, Fayyad, the independent field hearing us, at the same time, it's there is nothing in you. The same voices, the same stereotyping thinking.
Yeah.
So we just need to prepare leaders away from them and just wait.
Mm.
And because for me, I missed the hope in all of them.
I bet.
Yeah.
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 So you need to raise leaders quietly until they're ready to come and rise up and, you know,
Yeah. And
pursue.
because of that, you can find me that I'm in touch with a lot of Israeli characters in the Israeli
Mhm.
community, people from the left, from the right. And for me, maybe I'm the only Palestinian who most of his relations are from the right, of the Israeli right, not from the left. Because I'm looking for the people who ignored me to
Mhm.
convince me, to convince him. Already if the person support me, so there is no need for my mission.
Yeah.
But if the other, don't understand, no, hey, I'm a Gazan here also. I'm a normal like you.
right.
Sometimes I'm
Rami,
drinking vodka. Sometimes I'm fighting for beers. Yes, we don't have here in Gaza, but we like any kind of community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rami, I was just about to say, you talked about the new generation, right? You talked about the future generation. How do you think can we like make sure that the new generation will be a generation that will have peace and the value of peace in their head set?
We need to visiting them in their places to go and start from kindergarten, schools,
Yeah, the education.
universities, streets, houses, cars, even taxis, restaurant, even we're talking about that. And find a specific group from every level. We can find, for example, 100 students in kindergarten
Mm-hmm.
and wave them, in the elementary and in the secondary and university. We can find them as a leaders, in the end of this journey.
Yeah.
Right.
So do you
And
think it's a good idea for the new generation to join in the elections to try, even though
yeah,
we know that probably they'd have to.
yeah, yeah, for sure. We need also to talk to the Israeli that his vote is important not for just for him. For me as a Gazan, if he don't like anybody there, he need just to vote maybe to change the kind of decisions over Gaza. I don't need all the time to living here under a war atmosphere and rockets and targeting and bombs
Mhm.
and tanks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's absolutely.
Yeah, because already we are connecting to each other. We are sharing the same water, the same air, the same land, the same everything, the same news,
Yeah.
the same. Yeah, we are the same. We are not different. But the difference
Yeah.
is that you have good options, and I'm not. I have bad options here.
Mhm.
You have some people like Hamas in your community, and I have some people like Lieberman here, and I have some people like Netanyahu here, and you have some people like, it's because already we are humans in the end, and we are different, yes, in our minds. But we are the same. But we need just to open sessions between this kind of generation and open sessions between kindergarten in Gaza and kindergarten there, schools here and schools there, and find them and families and
Yeah.
enter the part of the communities who are away from this conflict. A lot of people inside the Israeli community don't care about the Israelis or Palestinians. If we
Absolutely.
can attract them to this conflict, I think we will have a good voices. And I believe 100% in people to people initiative. It's my story. I was alone in 2009 after the Israeli operation over Gaza. I found
Mm-hmm.
1,400 killed here in Gaza. I was a producer for Russia Today satellite channel, the Arabic one and the English one. So I was so close from the dead bodies, and most of them were civilians, and nobody talk about that. So in that time, I decided to find Israeli partners, not to talk or to call for one state or two states. Hey guys, stop here. We are people here.
Mm.
Yeah.
Why you are doing that? It's not my fault to be in this area.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
Absolutely.
That's what people forget, Rami. They act like you chose to be born there, or we chose to be born here, or nobody chooses. You born where you born,
Yes,
and
yes,
good luck to
yes,
you.
yes, yes. And I was thinking how we will achieve or how we'll find an Israeli partners. It's a blockade over Gaza. I can't travel. And it's a taboo case in 2009. How I can talk with an Israeli, how I can find them. I started, to send tens of emails through Israeli organizations, added a lot of Israelis, girls and boys. And as I told you, I visited Seat of Peace. I visited the American office here in Gaza, asking them
Mhm.
if they have any kind of a project between include Israelis and Palestinians. They
Yeah.
told me, no, we are afraid. It's a no good time to talk about that. For me, oh yes. From this point, I was sure that there is no hope from civil society to make any kind of peace in this area
Mm-hmm.
until and most of them, not most of them, all of them, neglected me. Nobody answered, and just maybe I got a very bad answers like, no, you are Hamas. I was just, hey,
Yeah.
my name is Rami. I'm from Gaza. I'm thinking how we can fight this together.
Yeah.
No, but for me, no, I didn't miss the hope until I found Yalla Young Leaders. It's a group to include Israelis and Palestinians and youth from Middle East and North Africa. And for me, it was a first chance to be in a group in Facebook security group.
Yeah.
And for me, I have a vision in that time. I was have a vision. just to find an Israeli partner. Working in two lines. The first line, create a generation, believe in the Palestinian reconciliation and make the equality between the people, as I told you, Christians and Muslims here. And in the a parallel line, their relations with the Israelis. If I will think how I can create decision makers for the future, for sure I need to be in touch with a decision maker in the Israeli community for the future. And my participation in Yalla Young Leaders gave to me the chance to join a workshop and have an Israeli permit for 12 hours for one day. And for me, it was like, wow, it's a victory.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
received a permit. I received an Israeli permit. It was in January 2014.
Impressive.
And
You dream of it.
Yeah.
yeah, and at that time, it was a checking point for Hamas in Ares, before Palestinian Authority and then
Yeah.
to the
Checkpoint.
Israelis. And yeah, and for me was like, what I will tell Hamas, why I'm going there. And I
Yeah.
told them that I'm visiting. I told them that, and in the same time, I was activist in Gaza here, made some good reputation in my local activities, and I was member in consortium of independent Palestinian. It was like an independent party here in Gaza, and I passed Erez and went to Jerusalem, and it was a workshop talking about negotiation, include Israelis and Palestinians, and I sat in this table. And beside me it was a girl. She we shook hand together, and she told that her name is Ruth and my name is Rami. And through the session and from this day, I told her that I have an idea how I can build an Israeli network and start from ourselves. I will introduce you for my family, and you will introduce me for your family, and then we can start with our friends. And step by step, she said yes. And before this podcast, I was in touch with her. You know, she was my first Israeli partner I met in Real, and she opened to me the door for the Israeli community and for the European and for the Americans. She's named Ruth Christina Basileva, and yes, most of time she's lazy. She's doing nothing.
That's Israelis, Rami.
Yeah.
That's what they're like.
Yeah. It's,
but she's a
why
leader.
you get out of doing something?
She's a leader. No, she's now leading Holy Local Aliens. It's like
Yeah.
make
Ah,
threats,
I know.
you know.
I know
Yeah,
how local aliens. Wait, is it Ruth?
Yeah.
I know Ruth. I gave her
Yeah.
This country.
All the-
It's not the world. It's this country. I'm telling
This
you.
country, especially,
This
yeah.
country. Yeah. Oh my
Ruth,
God.
Ruth was for Rami, yani Ruth means a lot for Rami. Ruth, for me, it's not an
Ah.
Israeli person. It's not a Jew, for example. No, it's a person. She's a very, very close friend. I discussed with her through the last year, through the last 7 years, a lot of things, you know, in my life.
Mm.
Yeah.
So
I love her trips. She does trips all over the land. They're beautiful, beautiful tours.
Maybe you can invite her, you know, next time, or maybe we
I
can
did
invite us
actually.
both.
I did
Maybe we
give her
can
a tour
invite.
where I live.
We'd love
we
to have
can
her on,
invite.
definitely.
Yeah.
We can
Oh.
invite us both, and we can talk a lot, you know. And nobody was know about us.
Yeah.
And after and we decided, you know, from our places to do a lot of things. She talked about Rami and their community, and here I talked about Ruth and my community. I
Yeah.
introduced her for my father, for my mother, for my sisters, for my brothers, and she did the same with me and with my sister.
Yeah.
And we applied an initiative called Skype with Your Enemy in 2014, yeah, or 2015. It's an idea, you know, to invite enemies to Skype together in 2015. And I told Ruth in that time that we need to make our activities away from the media.
Yeah,
In the
definitely.
future,
Do we think that the
they will
technology
know about
helps?
us.
Do you
Yeah,
think
for
that the
sure.
technologies,
Yeah, yeah.
as it improves in the future, it's going to change things and
I
make it
told you my
easier?
story. I passed the border with the technology using
Yeah, it's
Facebook.
true.
Skype. I'm using Zoom since 3 years.
Yeah.
Not nowadays.
Yeah.
I'm the big one
Not
in
just
Zoom.
Corona.
I arrested by Zoom.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
One of the first
popular.
adopters.
through this podcast, Zoom should know that there is someone arrested because of Zoom 6 months in Hamas jail.
Yeah.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
That things like that
Nobody,
can actually happen.
nobody told, Zoom. Why? I'm joking.
Yeah. You know what?
So Ruth with
Well,
me was the first seed there,
yeah.
and then I started to send videos to the groups, videos for any Israeli. I wasn't looking for organization at that time. We were looking for the people to meet the Israeli on the restaurants, to meet the Israelis, in their homes, and use the internet and make video calls. It started with me, and then it started, to qualify my members after 5 works with this generation. Fatma and Muhammad, there is nobody what know about my relation with the Israelis. Nobody.
Mhm.
Because
So,
I was think that in the future I will talk about that, not now.
yeah. Rami, we have another question from our friend, and he wants to know, and I'll kind of expand on it a little bit as well. He wants to know, how can Israelis and Palestinians show each other that they're not the enemy and move past the conflict? And just to expand it a little bit more, maybe more the people that are, say, hardliners on the Israeli side and on the Palestinian side, how can we get them to understand that?
Talk more about their experiences. I was in Jerusalem in December 2014 for 1 week. I have a permit in that time. And I went many times for a lot of clubs and cafeterias, and we have a lot of Israelis and Palestinians, dancing together, drinking together, laughing together. Hundreds, nobody talk about that.
Yeah.
And
No, of
and
course
already
not.
and they are also inside. They are away from what happening around. In the
Mhm.
beside the Aqsa Mosque, if anyone kidnap anyone or if anyone attack anyone, it's just two persons
Mhm.
in a very small area. But the whole picture, the people loving each other, but because of these two persons, a lot of things change.
Yeah.
But we need to talk about the positive stories, talk about the positive relations, be more brave, and find people, from the suffering situation, who suffered from the situation, going for the Israelis in the borders. I'm in touch with a lot of Israelis groups in the borders with Gaza here. They are suffering all the time and they are afraid all the time, even if there are no rockets. Inside
Mhm.
themselves, they will wait any rocket anytime. I can feel him because I'm here, feel the same thing. So if we
Yeah.
raise our voice together and
Same thing.
explain for others that we are sharing the same suffering and neglect us from what happening around, not repeating anything. And for example, if now any rocket targeted from Israelis or from the Palestinians, okay, we need to talk more with us,
Mhm.
not
Yeah.
just talk that you are bad, you targeted the rocket, you targeted the rocket. No, let's talk about the future. How can it continue creating a new generation? And
Yeah.
if in any high level zone happening in the last 3 or 4 years, I was organizing meeting between Israelis and Palestinians, taking care
Mhm.
about each other, listening the voices, at the skies and in our skies, playing music.
Yeah.
Fantastic,
Yeah.
if we promote this kind of media, I think we will have another audience. Yes, can I join you next time? Can I join you next time? I'm talking like
Mhm.
you. I'm talking like that because, as I told you, I was alone in 2009, but now I have a very big network. I just need one
Mhm.
person.
Yeah.
Why all
Yeah.
the time I told about you that Ruth, she is someone VIP in this world,
Yeah.
and we fight it a lot. We fight it a lot all the time. But yes, sir, and but person after one, and you will find an interesting people believing in your ideas. But we need just to
Yeah.
continue. It just one
Yeah.
step, one step, and you will find the friends also, and you will find money in the end. Not in the beginning. There is no money in this kind of real works in the beginning. The
Yeah,
money will come in the end. After giving your work, after
mhm.
paying your life as a price for your goal. Uh, yes,
But
for example, Ruth, she
mhm,
was the second or the third one I talked when they released over me in last October.
mhm.
And
Yeah,
uh, and
really.
maybe and maybe next time Ruth can tell you how I succeed to send her a video for me from the jail.
Oh
No
my god.
way.
Wait.
That's crafty, Rami. That's very
Yeah.
good.
Wait. Also, I don't. Did you? You guys probably asked
Also,
this.
I sent,
What's it like in there?
also I sent a letter for Ronnie Kedar. Ronnie Kedar, she is the 75th.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Great woman. Yeah, Ronnie
Yeah.
Kedar. She is also my mom. She is my Israeli mom. I called her my mom.
yeah.
Really?
Yeah, in my feeling, I'm not looking at her as Israeli or Jew or American. No, no, no. As a person, believed in me as a son.
That's the kind of connections we
Uh,
need. But
Yeah.
how do we get around the fact that um I mean, yeah, you said we need to be brave, but how do we get around the problem that people in Gaza are potentially going to be arrested for speaking to their cousins, to us, to
Yeah.
it's a big problem.
it's a bigger problem, yeah, but I think now we have a model. Now Rami Aman is a model. Now after Rami Aman, a lot of people, especially from the youth, thinking to find an Israeli. For I can give you hundreds of examples about an Israeli and Palestinian Gazans connections I built, here.
You
You can
created,
find,
you helped.
you can find a lot of Israeli profiles. They are friends with a lot of Gazans through Facebook.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You
And why
can
wouldn't we
find that.
be? You know?
Yeah, maybe not all of them trusting each other very well,
Yeah, sure.
but we need to let them raise the voice, and at the same time show for the Gazans here how the Israelis care about Gaza, but not the Israeli as a soldier character or as a settler character or as no the
As
normal one,
people.
the
Yeah.
normal one. I don't need also to raise my flag. No, it's not like that. Let's
Mhm.
build the humans here in Gaza. We can, for example, build one factory or two factory. I can build, a lot of people here. Or maybe we can call for invite 50 or 100 workers, and we can make security check over them and send them to work there and let them bring their families, not to stay, for example, in Tel Aviv, but or in Jerusalem or in Jaffa, just to change the
Yeah.
mood. If we success, for example, to find 1,000 Gazans here, give to them an Israeli permit for 5 years, uh, through 5 years, through 5 years to bring 1,000 workers. 1,000 workers means 1 million people
Yeah.
Well,
as a
yeah.
You know.
more. All of them will support peace and will not talk about conflict.
Yeah. I wanted to ask about that because we talk about amongst us. I'm not sure if this is a common thing amongst the Israelis in general about letting more Gazan workers into Israel just to, I don't know, as like cheap labor. Like
We
we're
need
generally okay on the idea, but like you think Gazans wouldn't be a threat to security because that's what a lot of Israelis are worried about, like letting Gazans cross the border. You don't think they'd be a threat?
I will send him, a qualification one,
Yeah.
not a normal Gazan. As I told you,
Yeah.
my mission here for the Gazan, first of all, to let them understand the Christian Gazan. There is a gap in Gaza between Muslims and the Christians.
Mhm.
There is a gap between Gaza and West Bank. There is a gap between Gaza and Jerusalem. There is a gap between Gaza and the Israelis. There is another gap between Gaza and Egypt. Our problem not just with the Israelis, with everyone. And in my opinion, It's our mistakes. We
Mm.
need to correct our work,
Yeah.
and we need to promote our voices, and we need to find help. Everyone needs help. I need your help, and you help me. When you are inviting me and let me talk and
Absolutely.
discuss. For me, it's a very good help.
Yeah.
And
Why does it happen? Well, what does it come from? Where does it come from that they are so confused about the way they should feel about Christians, and why does it happen? Oh, he might be stuck.
Oh,
Actually,
yeah. I think he froze. That's unfortunate because we're almost out of time. Hopefully,
Yeah.
Amir also crashed out of this. I hope to God Rami's still there, so we can at least get this one question answered before we end it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Okay.
this is actually, it's a perfect time to point out how this is part of the problem, that there's no infrastructure that works properly as far as like internet and things like that go.
Oh yeah.
In Gaza, they don't have what they need to have in order to live a 21st century life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. That's the most basic, and then they don't have it going on well.
Well, I mean, like just not even just internet. They don't have like from what I've heard. I don't know what you guys talked about at the very beginning. I've heard like they're struggling to just have pipes that can deliver water without rust in them. Like
exactly.
Just like
and if
basic
there wasn't fear in the way, if we weren't so scared of one another, there might be no good reason for them to be in that position. You know what I mean? If we could eliminate people being terrified, if no one was scared, it wouldn't be an issue. We'd be able to send good engineers. I mean, they have engineers, but we'd be able to send.
They have engineers, but they don't have equipment.
Exactly. That's what I was going to make my next thing. Resources. We can send proper people in with the right equipment and resources to set up a good infrastructure. Like it's set up like this so that people like Rami cannot come on our podcast and talk to us, and anyone else.
Our partner just said, "Let's hope Elon Musk makes the Starlink work in Israel." They have the brain, not the money. Okay.
Starlink would be awesome.
Yeah, I was about to say.
There you go. That's it. Exactly. Yeah.
If I could ride from Jerusalem to the moon, I assume that's what the Starlink is. I don't know what it is.
Actually, it's a satellite that beams internet wherever you are.
That's sick.
So you can have internet in the desert now. So.
That's it. We need to put this kind of Isn't it crazy that we have people on planet Earth that think that way and can come up with things like that, and yet nobody's pulling all of those resources together to it up to the next level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no issue.
They have a lot of good minds there. I studied with Palestinians also. They have a huge potential, but the resources and the limitations maybe that they have sometimes can be a problem. We talked about why they don't have entrepreneurs as much as Israel, but I think there's a lot of potential. So.
Well, I mean, it's pretty difficult. Like the Gazan economy is strangled on two different sides. On the one side, you got like the blockade run by Egypt and Israel that keeps out as much as possible, and then you also have the Hamas government, which is like
who's the host of this now? Not the host.
I'm in the pot. I'm basically in the program, but I don't see it. No.
You're not
actually saying what's happened.
Just sound like you dropped out. We thought you were trying to get back in. Yeah. So until then, viewers, you can hear us talk till Rami gets back in for one final question. And here's a cat.
Aww.
No, this is a grandparents. This is Flutzy. Yeah. This is Flutzy. Flutzy the cat.
He seems chill.
Yeah, she seems chill. Yeah, she's a pretty old cat though. She is obsessed with me though. She will not leave me alone whenever I come over.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Rami seems to be trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Let's see. Yeah.
I just told him how to do it. Let's hope that all goes well.
Yeah. But you
this
told him
is-
not to?
No, I told him to try and I told him
to
how
try
to
and
do
do
it. What to do.
Oh,
Yeah.
how to do it. Okay.
But like I was just saying, this is almost a perfect demonstration of one aspect of the problems we have. You see,
Yeah.
like we cannot even have a decent
Yeah.
podcast with someone in Gaza.
Yeah, it's the connection, like the infrastructure right there. But like, what can you do about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Like, well, I mean, what
solve
can
the
we
problem.
as individuals? Yeah, I mean, what can we as individuals do right now in the short term? Oh, you're
Exactly.
waking up?
I mean, this is what we can do in the short term.
Yeah, this is all we can do.
This is it.
Yeah.
This is our move.
Just, yeah, get our message out to the world, talk to the
Who
people.
knows? I mean,
I hope
things
Rami
are
can get
getting
back in.
easier. He did
Come here.
say that he's been using Zoom for 3 years. Did he say that?
Yeah.
Or did he mean like something like Zoom? But it doesn't matter. But it's still things are getting easier to put your message out there, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, he seems
First step.
he's smart. He seems smart. He seems intelligent. He seems tech savvy. He seems like he actually cares about what he's doing. He's a lot braver than we are. I can tell you that.
I will always herald that guy's bravery. It's
Yeah.
insane what he puts himself at risk of in order
Absolutely.
to fight for his cause. It really
Absolutely.
Yeah.
is. And most
is.
people won't realize.
No,
Most
they won't.
people are not going to realize
No,
quite
most people
what he's risking.
do not lack the ability to comprehend what true bravery is. My favorite meme of the modern era is that meme of, like, I don't know, some Hollywood magazine saying like Kylie Jenner ate 3 burgers, ribs, and then put on a dress and went down the red carpet. Now that is bravery. And somebody saying, I live in Syria. This story gave me the strength to carry on. Thank you for putting this out there. And it's just like, yeah, no, that checks out, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
you can
he's basically on the
feel the sarcasm coming off of that tweet.
yeah.
Ugh.
I mean, being called the traitor. I mean, being in danger of being called the traitor is a huge
Yeah.
thing.
Oh yeah.
Over there.
I mean,
Yeah,
honestly, prison is. I don't know if this is just the Israeli perception of it, but prison seems like quite a light way of a
dealing
light
with-
sort of like he got off lightly almost, even though 6
Yeah.
months in prison's awful, especially when you're surrounded by Daesh and all these members of different organizations.
Yeah. But I mean,
to
that's
us, at least we're told or led to believe that for Rami's crime, he could be risking life, like,
yeah.
and he definitely could be. I just don't know whether it would be, from Hamas or whatever, but he certainly could be.
Yeah. But it's also important to remember that, like, a prison in Gaza is different than prison in Israel. Like, Israelis think of prison like it's open air. The guards have strict regulations about what they can do. The people get actual food, cells, beds, and even in some cases, like, you can get like a TV in your cell. I've seen a lot of cells where they'll have TVs in there. It basically looks like a living room almost. Some of them are worse, but the point is that in Israel, prisons are pretty humanitarian. Gaza, Hamas can barely keep a law-abiding citizen in a stable situation that's healthy. They're not going to put any effort into making sure prisons look good.
Yeah, well, tell me about
Only if the journalists show up.
Yeah, for the camera.
Yeah. So is he gonna be able to come back in, or should we just end
he
it right here?
he said basically that he is trying to get back in right now, but it's he thinks he's
I'm
got
not getting
problems
anything.
with
He thinks he's not gonna get back in. All right, so let him know we're gonna end it here. We're at 1 hour and 10 minutes anyway. We had 9 minutes of us talking. I'm sorry we couldn't get that final question in, but
It's
I've been-
unfortunate, but here's the thing.
Yeah.
So Rami clearly has shown a willingness to be involved in this and to help us, and he wants to work with us. And so we're definitely going to do more with Rami in future.
of
We've
course.
got plenty more to talk about, and I'm letting him know that right now. And
Yeah.
you viewers as well, don't worry about it. We're definitely going to have Rami Aman back on. So much more to say. But it has been phenomenal. And thank you, Jared, for joining in.
Well, yeah, Jared, you made it to do the magic wandy thingy.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I wanted
Forget
there to be. I wanted there to be in for that. It's not the magic wandy. It's the thunder strike of righteousness. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Even Flutzy gets that. Well.
So yeah, if you're still watching,
Flutzy, come
don't
here.
forget
You're
to
gonna
like.
be my prop.
It really helps the algorithm. It's not easy to put the podcast out there.
Exactly.
Share it on your social media if you liked, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet. Also, check out the Patreon.
Comment as well. Comments are always good. We enjoy engaging with you guys. At least I do. Some of the other guys are a bit busy sometimes, but I like it. And
Kane does it. Kane's really good at it. So
it's enjoyable.
So to help with the algorithm, here's a cat.
Yeah.
Cats get views.
I'm certain that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
True. So, Jared.
Yeah.
Do you want to do your clap?
I am going to clap because I'm Jared. This is a cat ass. And you know what, guys? Unfortunately, the episode's over. All right.